ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, mind, sensory and motor organs and life force become strong, efficient. All is verily the one without second, absolute, ever perfect, ever blissful existence itself. Let me never deny this truth. May this truth never reject me either. May all the virtues necessary to experience this truth in life be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel this oneness. That the prayer just was talking about. All manifold experience is because of names, forms. Let us feel our own form as well as the form of all other things, all that is dissolved. Like so many ice cubes in a warm room. Let us feel the same inherent substance unchangeable beyond time and space. to experience this. Truth is the goal. For that alone takes us to the absolute bliss and peace. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let us begin with our usual prayers. What happened? So this is the 45th class, and let us begin with the prayers. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishvavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we attain strength together. May our study make us illumined. May there be no dislike between us. Om, peace, peace, peace. What happened? Okay. So, the 6th chapter that we have been studying is about the actual transformation that has to happen in our personality. We consciously, we understand, we feel okay, fine. But that illumination has to reach deep in our unconscious or subconscious level, because our life is governed not just by the conscious layer, which is very small. The unconscious aspect of our being and our life is much, much bigger. And therefore we see that even when we understand things consciously, and even if we try to hold on to it while we are aware of what's going on, yet there is a large part in that is the subconscious that refuses to accept this understanding, and therefore, since that is the governor, we cannot live that life of illumination, and thus are deprived of our true, eternally blissful nature. So, sometimes this analogy is given that Suppose Teresa wants to go to some place, and suppose she is riding on an elephant. Imagine, riding on an elephant. Now she wants to go to some very nice place. But since she is riding on the elephant has to go there. If the elephant refuses to go, then, she can't go because she is on elephant. Our unconscious or subconscious nature is that elephant. It doesn't budge, if it decides not to go, then what can you do? The elephant doesn't move. So, there the elephant needs to be illumined. Now, can an elephant be just told for illumination, "Hey, my dear elephant, please"? No. The elephant needs to be trained. That is the difference between education and training. That education, yes, you tell people, you modify their understanding accordingly, but that does not change the actions automatically. You have to give training. The training to our this body consciousness. That is the elephant, which is moving in spite of our understanding the right thing. It is moving in its own way. Teresa wants to say, go to a school. The elephant wants to go to where there is some nice elephant food, lot of grass and potatoes and all that. So, now unless the elephant is trained not to go there and follow what the rider is telling, the things will actually not change. So, this is the elephant, our body consciousness. I am this body. This is mine. That is mine. I live here. I live there. This is my house. All this is the elephant. That has to therefore change. And it takes long time, lot of efforts to do that. The training means, you have to be very disciplined, and it takes fairly long time depending on how our consciousness is malleable to these things. So some get trained quickly, especially in the childhood. In certain physical and intellectual matters, the children get trained more quickly, whether for good things or bad things. Now, when the person becomes adult, there is a stiffness in body, in brain, and in mind as well. Doesn't want to give up the prejudices, doesn't want to give up the notions that have been held strongly for a long time. So, therefore, don't worry. I mean, this is there is a solution for that, but we have to apply the solution for long time. If you have some chronic ailment, then yes, it will go, but you have to apply the remedy regularly and for a long time without a break. Keep on applying it, and then you will see the change happens. And the elephants can be trained, you see. That is why somehow, for long time, it was thought that India is the country where elephant becomes a school bus. And even now in some parts of Assam it is true that deep Arunachal Pradesh, that state where there are not roads everywhere, and through that forest and what is the school bus? The elephant. All the school kids, about 20 kids, an elephant can easily take. So 20 kids are put there, taken to school by the elephant. Now, can that be done by any elephant? Well-trained elephant is required, you see. Very highly trained elephant is required to do that. For many years, the training of that elephant goes on. Then only that elephant can become a school bus. Otherwise, you will be putting the children and anybody, in big harm. So therefore, similarly, this needs lot of change and a lot of effort in the right direction. Since we are not aware of this, we immediately draw conclusion that these spiritual things, sounds nice to hear, but that not true. Who has after all seen God? Can anybody see God? And it just is a useless thing. Well, you have to be at it. The barrier of the external, these appearances that we are holding on to has to be broken. It requires patient working on it in a methodical way. Then it works. It is, some medications you have to keep on taking for a long time to get the effect. And the people become impatient and give up the medication. It's no good and does nothing. Well, that is not how it is going to work. So, this is the fifth verse that we saw earlier. Adis संयोग निमित्त हेतु परस्त्रिकालाद अकलोपि दृष्ट तम विश्वरूपम भवभूतमीड्यम देवम स्वचित्तस्थम उपास्य पूर्वम. That by previously meditating as seated in one's own heart on that adorable being. So, it is where to meditate on that adorable being within the heart. It is a process that is being described. One has to get it. Even these things have to be done commonly also again and again. I remember long back in our chemistry lab, that they used to train us, and that how to hold a pipette. A pipette is to be held in a particular way, and you have to suck in that liquid or water by your mouth, breathing in. So, and exactly you have to bring it to that amount, that mark. So it's a simple thing, but that also takes efforts. It doesn't come at the first go. So feel that divine presence, adorable presence in the heart. Meditate. Then who appears as the universe and who is the true source of all creatures. He can be perceived even though he is the primeval cause of the union of spirit and matter, as well as the partless entity transcending the three divisions of time. So it is a very important thing to see that it is, how is this? This is a self-effulgent being and true source of all creatures. Although is in the heart, this whole universe is manifestation of that. Like all the light that we see during the daytime, if we look out, then it is the light of the sun that is appearing in from all quarters to us. So all the appearance, all distinctions, everything, all creatures, they are just emanations, manifestations of that divine being. And this is how Vedanta perceives it. And this is how even you will see many ancient Greek philosophers, especially you can see in Plotinus, this is very clear, that there is no creation as such. It is emanation. It is manifestation. That very being is manifesting in various different forms. There is nothing else to it. So, and it is can be perceived, even though it can be perceived if you just learn to penetrate the veil of the form, then you see the sameness of the substance, like we do in animal crackers, that there is the form, but then we know that in and through all the forms, this substance is the same. So here we have to apply this idea with that concentrated effort, that although each thing looks different, has different characteristics, different apparent qualities, some are very nice and reasonable and friendly people, some others are completely ununderstandable to me, their behavior is terrible, and so forth. But just penetrate and see that this same reality is in all of them. And when we try to see that, the result is we feel at peace. We feel peaceful. This is the result. And do we want to have peace? Then, well, this is the way to penetrate and see that sameness. If we do not see that, then there is always a tussle, a competition, a quarrel. Thus, the peace is gone. And his primeval cause of this whole thing. And what is the meaning of this being a primary primeval cause? Is that there is no cause of it. You cannot ask who caused that. That is the primary first cause. So it is uncaused cause, and that is And that is the cause of what we see, spirit and matter, consciousness and matter. Everything has these two components. We had seen that both these components are there. They are inseparable in practice. Intellectually, we see that they are two components. Something we call matter, and something as consciousness or spirit or the soul. And try to separate it actually, physically, and we will see, I can't separate it. But these are all put together by this one existence, one divine being. So, and it transcends the time, three aspects of time, that is past, present, future. It is very enigmatic. We had many times we had the occasion to think of this notion of time and the trifurcation of time, how it happens. It is really a subjective idea, and that is how we see this world and the happenings of the world. It is past, present, future. In this division we work. That's it. But that reality is beyond these divisions. So we have to feel this relative nature of time. It is so the word that comes there, upasya, that needs our attention. That is the practical thing. That it is that upasya, this word upasana, comes in Vedas and Upanishads and all other places in various spiritual practices. It is upasana, means be closely follow that. It is, that is upasana, that you have an ideal now, the way to hold on to the ideal is called upasana. In various ways this upasana gets done. According to our nature, according to our limitations, we have to imagine the ideal, think of the ideal, and then hold on to it. It is not the question of that is correct imagery or wrong imagery. The question is whether you become better by doing it or not. You are not worshipping God to make God better or you better. It is we want to make ourselves better. That is why we do worship. It is not that you do salutations to Sri Ramakrishna means to make Sri Ramakrishna happy. Now what, Sri Ramakrishna doesn't need to do anything about it. It is to get blessings. By that we become purified, we feel better. So that is why, see, for in the background there is the imagery of Om, and the concrete form of Om is Ganesha, that elephant god. So it is the Ganapati or Vinayaka, various names are there. So a spiritual aspirant needs to closely associated with God. All spiritual actions must be centered on that, all thinking and all actions. If we have something really as goal, then all our actions are centered around it. Everything I think, whatever I do, there is that thought always there. Everything is centered around that. For example, if I have this central thought that I have to go to Hawaii, and then I am thinking all the time, if that thought has taken possession of me, then how can I go? What time is best for going there? How can I get a vacation to go there? How much will be the cost? And what are the things that I shall be doing there? This thinking keeps on going on in our every action. We may be doing other works, but they all have this thought, underlying thought going on. And unconsciously, our actions, you see, take that shape. If somebody tells you, okay, this time you have to come to me, I think, is it going to conflict with my plans to go to Hawaii? Immediately, all things that go accordingly. It is, I remember one devotee couple, you know them, that they decided to go to Kailash, Manas Sarovar, that a great pilgrimage. Prithvish also did it some time back. So they decided, as a matter of becoming eligible, capable of taking up that endeavor, training their life. So everything, they wouldn't indulge in eating this, that, although they like, but no, because after I come back from Kailash, it is, they would not take any of that. Everything they were doing was such that it centered around that ideal, that okay, I have to do this, keep the exercises to make yourself fit to do that. And it was so apparent that it was being done with lot of efforts, attention, devotion, all that was there. So, similarly, if we want to attain to God, well, that thought must keep on hovering. And then that thought itself has a shape, although one may say, hey, don't, there is, if you make an image of God, then you are committing blasphemy and deserve to be killed. So it is, but when you think about any object, even think about God, you have made already an image in your mind of that God. So therefore, that image, take help of the image. If you find it difficult to get the right image, see the images used by the sages, and that is what works best for us. Instead of trying to find an image, use the already existing image, one of the existing images that suits you better. And then of course you can put your thought form on it. So that is what is done, that everything is done accordingly. It's a very important way of connecting our life to that divine. In everything that will be happening, it is, if I am eating, I will first offer it to God and then eat. That taking it as the offering, the blessings of that divine presence I am consuming in the form of food, taking in the blessings in the form of food. If I am going somewhere, I will keep on repeating the mantra or the name of God. Even when I am doing works, I will see that these works are a worship offered to God. So, that is how all actions connect to that. So, now similar ideas are expressed in the coming these verses. सवृक्षकालाकृतिभिः परोऽन्यो यस्मात् प्रपञ्चः परिवर्ततेयम् धर्मावहं पापनुदं भगेशं ज्ञात्वा आत्मस्थम् अमृतं विश्वधाम. That knowing Him who is the origin and dissolution of the universe, the source of all virtue, this destroyer of all sins, the master of all good qualities, the immortal and the abode of the universe, as seated in one's own self, he is perceived as different from and transcending the tree of samsara, the suffering, as well as time and form. It is so that which is the cause of everything. The way to do this upasana or what gets called as spiritual practice or sadhana is to feel that presence in one's own heart. It is everywhere. But as Sri Ramakrishna used to say, and that is so true, that where can you find that person? In the visiting parlor you can meet that person. Similarly, where can you meet God? In your heart, in your consciousness. That is the place, therefore, advised for feeling and worshipping. That, okay, feel the presence of God right where you feel your presence. Heart means that we show ourselves like I. That it is like Tommy will say, that I didn't come last time. He will put the hand on his chest. This is I am Tommy. It is, isn't it, Tommy? Yeah, I am Tommy. You don't say I am Tommy. No, it is I am. Where you feel I, now that I is the cause of all problems. Substitute it with God. Feel God there. So now that is the process. And then, so what happens since God is within you? Now wherever you go, God goes with you. Never leaves you because that is within you. If God is in some place somewhere, in a temple or in a church or some, then well, in the temple you will be meditative, okay, this is a holy place. But if God is in you, in your heart, then you are always conscious of the presence of God right here. And so this is the method that and this is the truth also, that God is right within us. So feel like that, and that is oneself. God is our true self. And that very God is manifesting as this universe, the creator, beyond time and beyond any, as it is beyond any form. So, and that is beyond all suffering. So, knowing that you go beyond suffering. So, the next verse is that Tameshwaranam Paramam Paresham Tam Devatanam Paramam Cha Daivatam Patim Patinam Paramam Parastat Vidam Devam Bhuvaneshamidhyam. May we realize that divine, Him, the transcendent and adorable Master of the universe, who is the Supreme Lord over the Lords, all the Lords, the Supreme God above all the gods, and the Supreme Ruler of the rulers. This idea is expressed. We saw that one reality creates everything. From that everything has emanated. But then now that has been left to itself. No, it is governed. The Supreme Governor. Everything happens under its tremendously powerful control that nobody can transcend. Upanishads therefore say that bhayadasya agnistapati, bhayat tapati suryah, bhayad indrascha vayuscha mrityurdhavati panchama. That under its very strict control, everybody is scared. The fire therefore has to do the job of heating. Isn't it? Have you ever seen fire says, no, I am tired of doing the same work of heating. I am going to be cooling today. And the fire cannot say that. It is under strict governance. Sun, you see, it is not the choice of the sun to give light or not to give light. It has to. That is how the sun has been mandated, so to say, under the strict mandate. And nobody can digress from that. That governorship is expressed in this verse. And because we automatically worship the governorship, because, well, is a governor, so everybody pays homage. Oh, this is governor of our state. So people speak that with care, caution, with proper respect. Now this is the governor of the universe. How respectfully you will behave with that. What, Charlie? Being when you go to see the governor of Rhode Island, then you observe proper decorum. You are in the presence of governor. There is a decorum, there is a proper protocol and all that there. You cannot just break like that. So this is the supreme governor, governor of the whole universe. So when you know that, how respectful you will be. You see, in the presence of the Holy Mother, how the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna would conduct themselves, with what adoration, respect, because they saw that she is the actual governor of everything. She is the Divine Mother who controls all this. There is this very famous conversation about a Swami who was a close attendant of Holy Mother, and another Swami asked him, comparatively junior and who had not met Holy Mother, that did Holy Mother also have these frequent samadhi experiences, going like Sri Ramakrishna we read that there are he used to go into samadhi every now and then. And did since you were with Holy Mother, did you observe her going into trance every now and then like that? We don't at least read in her biography like that. Some occasions are there, but not. And this attendant of Holy Mother Swami, he scolded him, "You fool! What is the foolish? You are terribly stupid." Stupid? Isn't it a natural question? What is? And then the Swami explained, "Holy Mother is that because of whose grace a person can get samadhi or that trance." And you are asking whether she has samadhi or not. What a stupid question. Yes, that is how it is. Yeah. So, that, but let us know that being doesn't do anything. Although doing everything, let us not forget that natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate natats samascha samascha adhikascha drishyate parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate swabhaviki jnana bala kriya. This is, don't think that God does the things thinking, okay, I will do like this. He has nothing to achieve for himself, nor has he any organ of action. No one is seen equal or superior to him. His great power alone is described in the Vedas to be of various kinds, and his knowledge, strength, and action are described as inherent in him, swabhava. That is the beautiful word. That it is an automatic manifestation. There is no reason, because people keep on asking this question. Very commonly asked question for thousands of years. As long as mankind has been here, this question has been asked, that if that reality is one, why and how it became many? We cannot run away from oneness. But then, this is the most intriguing question in philosophy, that how that one appears as many. It is all the Vedantic different schools. They are centered on this, that what happened, how it is many. So, it is like the dualist, qualified non-dualist, they all accept this truth of underlying oneness. The differences are only then how to explain this manifold appearance, which also we cannot deny. It is the manifoldness of appearance is undeniable. Also, the underlying truth of oneness is undeniable. So, only now to connect them, how? there is no cause for it. It is that is to be clearly understood, that there is no cause of it. There is no action that is being consciously done to get it. That being just manifests like this. It does not think, let me shower my grace on this David there. No, it just does it. That's it. There is no conscious action. There is no means of action there, like the hand, feet, or any organ of action is not there. Intent is not there. It is because that is all. We see the variety. Think of it from the mind of that divine. It is when we see that oneness in our own body, we see that oneness. And we never have this conflict. This left hand, did not do the right thing for the right hand. So let me punish this left hand. You don't do that. It is when the teeth bite the tongue. Sometimes it happens, isn't it? What, Naomi? The teeth, unconsciously, they bite the tongue. Now, do you go and punish the teeth and go and break it? The tongue does not file a suit in the courts of law that these teeth, these rascals, they have bit me. No, there is nothing like that. So I want a compensation of $1 million. There is no such feeling. Why? Because of oneness. So now that divine who is everywhere, there is no feeling of justice or injustice in any of these things. Hasn't done anything consciously. Do you see this? This is a very important aspect. We get these questions. What God was doing this when Hitler was killing these millions of people. What was God doing then? A question from our standpoint is very logical, but it is. Can you imagine this question? What was that God doing when I was, that washing myself with a very strong detergent, killing millions of those germs? Now those millions of germs to be killed like that, what God is doing then? Why did He allow such massacre? It is, we don't have this kind of question at all. Meaningless. It is like that. Our thinking and God's thinking, that is how the Bible responds to it. That God's ways are not like human ways. Man's ways and God's ways are different. So, this is what is called Swabhaviki. This is the spontaneous manifestation. You see, there is no other cause as such. Why the flower gives fragrance? Well, that is its nature. It doesn't think, okay, let me give the fragrance and I will give it only to Tommy and not to Charles. The flower has no such intent there. It is its spontaneous nature. Sun, shines. Not that it decides, okay, now it is time to shine. No such intent there. It is the natural expression. The dog barks. Why does the dog bark? Well, that is the way the dog is. The dog has to bark. Otherwise, if it doesn't bark, we would have to find another name for that creature. It is the dog barks, sun shines, the fragrant flower, the fragrance spreads. That's it, there is no, it is Swabhava. So also the God, its nature is that it manifests as all. The power, knowledge, and power, they are the consciousness. Actually, knowledge here means consciousness, and the power is the nature of God. It is not something extraneous. So, the next verse is again similar expression of this. All these verses are more for us to feel the truth, rather than making us logically understand it. There is nothing very logically understandable about it. That has already been done. Logic only has capability with our conscious mind. In subconscious, there is no logic, If you would go to apply, that means first you make it conscious and then apply logic there. So, therefore, why this is not logic is simply because the purpose is to illumine this subconscious. And this works, very not easily explainable. Natasya kaschid patirasti loke nacheshita naiva tasya lingam sakaranam karanadhipo karanadhipadhipo nachasya kaschid janita nachadhipah. That no one in the world is his master, nor has anybody any control over him. There is no sign by which he can be inferred. He is the cause of all and the ruler of individual souls. He has no parent, nor is there anyone who is his Lord. The supremacy is told. That is why you cannot ask this why to that. When you ask why to say somebody who is your superior, the superior person can say, I am not answerable to you. I am not answerable to you. It is God is not answerable to us. Why did God do this? What Prithvish, isn't it? We cannot ask, otherwise we are God and that is subordinate to us. It will be, if you say, no, I want answer, that will be insubordination. So it is, you cannot ask God. Why? How? No, God is not answerable to your queries. Because that is why He is Lord. So that is the idea. And that is within our heart. That is within our heart. So hold on to it. That Sri Ramakrishna used to sing that song. Jotone hridaye rekho adarini shama mare. That with great effort, Jotane hridaye rekho. Hold it in your heart with great effort. This adorable Mother Shama. Hold that. And thus, wherever we move, whatever we do, this is how we will be able to feel that presence more and more in our life. And we will see if we do it constantly, regularly, without break, for years, that light will start shining forth in our life, and the expressions of that shine are a very special bliss and a very special peace. So, we shall meditate for 30 seconds, and in case if you have questions, because although God is not questionable, I am questionable, so it is. Yes, please. Good. So there is no question today. So today I am not questionable. Let us conclude with the closing prayers. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.